On this episode of the Infowars News Blitz, Millennials and Liberals are voting for Trump over Clinton. Pope Francis meets with top Islamic Cleric, and a woman is jailed for letting her son drive a golf cart. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. For the week of the 30th of May, 2016, this is the first article of the day here. And it's an article written by Kit Daniels. The title is called Shock. Millennials Liberals Voting Trump Over Clinton. Underneath it says, Trump gained 90% of young voters who have supported Hillary. Well, I wouldn't be surprised about that. Young voters and liberals are ditching Clinton in mass favor of Donald Trump, which may overshadow a Trump landslide in November. Since March, Trump has gained 17% in support from voters ages 18 to 29, whereas Hillary has dropped 19% in that same demographic, according to an ABC poll, which explains why Trump has gained 5 points on Clinton. In other words, Trump has gathered 90% of young voters who previously supported Clinton. Trump also gained 8% among liberal voters, whereas Clinton lost 8%, and Clinton also lost some support among non-white voters, while Trump has gained ground. Mitt Romney lost the youth vote to Obama by more than 20%. And even a 10% Democrat margin would still ensure a decisive victory for Trump. Bernie Sanders supporters are also disgusted by the corny capitalism, which really can't capitalize. Which really isn't capitalism on Wall Street, and given how Clinton's largest donors come from Wall Street, it's not actually surprising why Bernie voters would choose Trump instead. Well, folks, basically, it's a no-brainer now. I mean, Trump just became a nominee yesterday. He has enough delegates and votes to basically get the nomination now, and Bernie just challenged him to a debate, which would seem pretty good, but it's better than the alternative of Hillary. I mean, Trump made his money on capitalism, and that's what made the country, well, the way it was. And he's trying to stop the bleeding before we go down into that black hole. So I hope that more people go to Mr. Trump, because basically we really need to save this country. I can't find a job in this economy, so it's Trump or nothing. And I do believe that basically Trump can save this country, but enough about that. Here's the second article. It's an article written by Michael Snyder. The title is called The One World Religion Cometh. Pope Francis warmly welcomes top Islamic Cleric to Vatican. Underneath it says, so presumptuously, what kind of message was Pope Francis trying to attempt to convoy? Excuse me, folks. Sorry. When Pope Francis met with Sheikh Mohammed al-Taye on Monday, he told him that our meeting is a message. So precisely what kind of message was Pope Francis attempting to convoy? Sheikh Mohammed al-Taye, or Tabe, is the general imam of Cairo's Al-Jazeera Mosque, and some have described him as the highest figure in Sunni Islam. The Daily Mail has said that the meeting between the two men was a historic bid to reopen dialogue between the two churches, and you will see below this yet another long series of attempts by profaners to build bridges between Catholicism and various other faiths. In Islam, one of Allah's primary titles, the All-Merciful One. If you doubt this, just do a Google search, and this will clearly, and this clearly was not the first time that Professor has used such language. For example, check out the following excerpt remarks from that he made during the very first Sacral meeting as Pope. And you can see it here. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? There's a very clear pattern developed here. Pope Francis believes that Christians and Islam's made to worship God, but he wants us to know that he considers Islam to be a perfectly acceptable way to seek God. Say what? You gotta be kidding me. But here's a clip, but I don't speak about that.
They will not let them out because Turkey doesn't let the Christians out. They're to be murdered there. They're damned up in that country to be killed. And that's why the globalists are so stupid. That's why, well, they're lust to kill. That's why they can't beat the Syrians, the coalition of Alawites, Christians, Shiites, and others with the Russians, because they have nowhere to go, folks. They have to fight to the death. And they're meant to be there and be murdered while the Popey sits up there, the false Pope, and meets with the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood and embraces him and shoots his mouth off about I don't want to hear about Christianity and Christian stuff. Jesus was just like ISIS. He sent people out to the world. These are quotes. To literally betray Christendom. I mean, you just cannot make it up. They overthrew the Catholic Church. You can debate it was corrupt before, whatever. You can stick a knife in it. It's done now. They overthrew it with the pedophile infiltration, and as soon as they put this guy in, the media shut that down, and that was over. Because it was mission completed. They took it over. I can tell you right now, Pope Francis is a deep member. He might even be the head of it. This whole thing. That guy is the devil incarnate. And I know it's dangerous to stand up against somebody like him, but that's what I got to do. The truth's the truth. It's just unbelievable to see the actual manifestation of Satan in the Vatican.
Okay, thank you. Folks, this Pope is the devil incarnate, as Al Jones said, and I do believe him. I mean, that is a acceptable way to see God? You must be joking, man. You must be crazy. Crazy as a fox, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, this guy also bad-mouthed Jesus, the King of Kings himself. I wouldn't want to be in Mr. Francis' shoes when he gets back down here and probably, smack him upside the head. But enough about this. This is an article written by the Charlotte Observer. David and I actually covered this one, so I'm going to play the clip when I'm actually done reading this. The title is called, Mother Lets Son Drive Golf Cart at Resort Gets Jailed for Child Abuse. And this is ridiculously stupid. On the second day of their dream vacation in exclusive Bald Head Island, Joan Mayo went with her family to the beach to catch the sunset. Her 11-year-old son asked to drive the golf cart back to their $1,000 a day rented cottage. It was dusk and no traffic on the path, and his father was sitting next to him. A 2-block, 30-second ride. She said, sure, what could go wrong? In the next 4 hours, Mal said, excuse me. I didn't say Mal? It was Judy Mal, excuse me. Mal said she was pinned to the ground by police, repeatedly accused of being drunk, frog-arching barefooted across a ferry in handcuffs, jailed in leg irons, and charged with child abuse. Molly's case, which occurred on a really bad luxury resort island, was where golf carts are taken to the pits of automobiles, an example of how an encounter with police can spiral out of control, even the most idealistic of settings. To be sure, most cases doesn't raise the magnitude of recent police infringement that have spurred national debates, but it's left the Charlotte suburban physically bruised, emotionally shaken, and ensnared in a pro-tactical legal tangle she could never foresee. And it goes on to say that Maul's mother too wasn't shaping her story around or trying to get publicity. We heard about it from a third party and contacted her. So basically, technically, folks, here's the clip about David and I talking about this story.
And if you think that they're not going to do this, if you think they're not going to get totally crazy, just look at this story out of South Carolina. Mother lets her son drive a golf cart at a resort and gets jailed for child abuse. Now, this kid was 11 years old. This is at the luxury resort, Bald Head Island in South Carolina. Her 11-year-old son asked if he could drive the golf cart back to their $1,000 a day rented cottage. It was dusk, there was no traffic on the path, and his father would be sitting next to him in this dangerous golf cart. Because, you know, even a golf cart needs to have a computer driving it for our safety. And they say in the next 4 hours, the mother says she was pinned to the ground by police, repeatedly accused of being drunk. She was then frog-marched barefoot aboard a ferry in handcuffs and jailed in leg irons and charged with child abuse. Now, we're not going to go into all the details of everything that happened here. Interestingly enough, they say on this island where they have replaced cars with golf carts, you have to be 16, you have to have a valid driver's license to drive a golf cart on Bald Head Island. They say there's been fatal accidents there from people who fell out of carts. Really?
Alright, basically, this is kind of stupid, though. I mean, what was she gonna do? There was nobody on the path, and what were they supposed to do? Walk back to the cottage in the dark? I mean, this is kind of stupid. And his father was gonna be riding with him, so why is this a problem now? Huh? Anybody? I mean, the cops overreacted. They should have just let her go. They falsely accused her of doing something that she didn't, and I think that the police should be disciplined for that alone. But anyway, that's the last article today here. If you like to read about these articles, please go to the link below or go to Infowars.com or PlaceBet.com. There you can find hundreds of articles like this one I have read for you today. This is the Infowars Newspaper out Info.com. Now for Film Region number 3, please like, subscribe, and donate. And happy Memorial Day, people. Bye-bye.